Hello. I posted the other day, or the other evening, maybe some of you saw it, and I was very, very depressed. Very on the edge. And I've continued to feel that way, with some ups and downs, but I still feel very down. A little better right now. I mean, I'm not in absolute tears, and I'm not contemplating anything. Yeah, I'm doing better. And I'm not sure what's going on right now that I'm having such a hard time. My doctor put me on my fourth antidepressant now. It's 4 different antidepressants, and even that doesn't seem to be able to conquer whatever's going on inside me, which I think is situational, maybe partly hormonal, but I know a lot of it is situational. I have in me, inside me, I carry with me a tremendous amount of pain. I have so many hurts from so many things that my family said to me or did to me. My mother, here I'm 45 years old. And I'm a total failure in life. I'm a total failure. I'm actually autistic. Although we didn't know that until recent years. We just knew something was not quite right with me. I have a very different way of thinking. A lot of things that came naturally to other people were very difficult for me. And then a few things I breezed right through, and people couldn't figure out why, it was so easy for me. But that's pretty typical of somebody with autism, It's kind of pretty typical with anybody, but it's just, you take a person with autism and you just kind of magnify that. Because we struggle in a lot of areas. We struggle with things that are so easy for other people. Simple things. Simple life things. And they're hard for us. For me, sequential things. Writing a letter, getting everything collected up, the stamps and the envelopes and writing utensil and getting it written and then getting it marked and actually getting it to the post office. That whole series of mini tasks, of steps that it takes to mail a letter is extremely difficult for me, because at some point or other it breaks down. I don't have everything gathered up, or I don't know, I have a very hard time with sequences. But, anyway, lately it's been terrible. I mean, I just have been so down, and so I just have been in so much pain. Like I'm full up to here with how much more emotional pain I can take. I have known my whole life, but I am constantly reminded that I don't have the human rights that other people have. Now, in reality, of course, I have them because I'm a human being, and I'm in the United States. I have the same rights as anybody else. technically that's true. But I'm disabled. And as one of many disabled people, my rights are trampled all over. And I can't do anything about it. I don't have the wherewithal to do anything about it. And the last 2 years was just it was just one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, and I mean, the things that were done to me by people in a field, in a system that was designed to help people with disabilities. And that system was just rife with abuse. Not just abusing me, abusing other people along the way. But, I mean, I was in 3 different adult foster care homes. I had a guardian. My dog was murdered. I was locked up in a psychiatric hospital. My medication was interfered with, and I was left in an agonizing pain. I was arrested. I hired a lawyer, and I got screwed over by the lawyer. I mean, big time. And I didn't have a voice to speak for myself. I mean, I tried, but I lack the voice I need to speak for myself in situations where it's the most important. I feel like sometimes, hold up, Judge, hang on, I'm going to start this video so you can see it. Man, I wish you could do that. Because I have a little bit of an easier time explaining things here. I don't know, I'm directing it not at any one person. Maybe that's why. And I'm very verbose anyway, so I mean, they never listen to the whole thing, but I mean, I went to the church seeking help. I was so down. I was sobbing all the time. I was devastated. I'd been accused of something and arrested for it and charged for it and punished for it, and I was innocent of it. And I mean, I was homeless, and my mother disowned me, and she changed all the locks in her house. I wasn't allowed to go to her wedding. My guardian, after she killed my dog, the only love I had was my dog, my child. And she took him away. And then she started this campaign of cruelty against me. And things were really, really bad. Things were really bad. Even called the crisis hotline because I thought things were just out of control, and I was desperate, and I was breaking down. And I called our local crisis hotline, and I got on the phone, and she asked me what was wrong, and I just started sobbing uncontrollably while trying to tell her, which elicited from her a very short, curt, "I can't understand you." And I gathered myself back up again, and I started to try to tell her what was wrong, and she hung up on me. The crisis hotline worker hung up on me when I was in complete and utter despair, when I had nowhere else to turn, when I had no friends and no family. I had nobody. I didn't have a single soul in the world at that point. I'm not even sure why I'm making this video, really. I guess it's more just because I've been silenced so many times. I've had no rights to say how I feel or to say what happened. My lawyers kept me mute in court when I had all the documentation to have my record expunged, which was the original deal. And for some reason, they told me I wasn't allowed to present that material in court in front of the judge. And they wouldn't let me take it up there. And then I got up there, and the judge asked me if I had anything to say. But I didn't have any of my documentation with me. It was in that room. It was in the back of that very room. She wouldn't let me bring it forward, my lawyer. And I tried to start to ad-lib without the information, and it's part of my autism is I just couldn't do it, and I just broke down right there in front of everybody. I just burst into tears. I was so embarrassed, but I was so devastated. It was so bad that the magistrate, who was sitting right next to the judge, actually got off of the bench and brought me a box of Kleenexes because tears were just pouring down my face, and I never did get to tell the judge. I never got to show him the information that would show my innocence, that showed my innocence. I never got the chance. My lawyers wouldn't let me present it. And when I was all out of options, and I had nowhere else to go, and I had no friends at all, I turned to the church. I turned to the church that I belonged to, and I was rejected. I turned to another church, and I was rejected. And I turned to another church. And this time, all I was asking was, could you just... They didn't know me. I went in there, a broken human being, and I spoke to one of the co-pastors, and I said, could you just please... Could somebody from here please just call me like maybe once a week and just make sure I'm okay? Oh, he wouldn't agree to that. He wouldn't agree to that. I mean, he was a pastor. He was a pastor of a church. And I asked him 3 times, and he didn't say no. He just changed the subject. He wasn't willing to do it. I had told him about my arrest, though. I told him about everything that happened, and I guess he judged me as guilty. See, I was innocent. I was. My mother was there, and she knew it. She knew that I was innocent of the intent that they claimed that I had. And yet, when everybody started turning on me and calling me a criminal, there was my mom right there. She was right there to call me a criminal too. And she was right there to complain about me to her friends to our family friends, to my relatives, to everybody, anybody who would listen. And so her friends started treating me badly. Our friends started treating me badly. My relatives hadn't treated me well in years, so... But I have nobody. In this world, I have nobody. I am as alone as any person could possibly be. And I'm broken. I guess I don't really have anything more to say. Just that.